One of the most important usages of DeBono's 6 thinking hats is that it gets us out of our own rudimentary thinking. For example, some of you will be looking at the background here and you'll be putting on the black hat. What are the difficulties with filming in a background such as this? There's the uncertainty of the sound that you hear behind you, and of course you can hear the highway. There's the uncertainty of some animal creeping up behind me, and there are birds that are hovering around. But some of you will see it as a creative space. What can one learn from filming outside? Some of you will look at the possibilities. Some of you will look at the dangers. In my classrooms, I have people put on the 6 thinking caps. I even have a plastic cutout that I've used, and on the back is an origami folding of a hat, and we can even use different color hats for the students to put on as a warm-up. And what they do is they will attack the day's topics. It could be an article, it could be a specific topic that we're doing, and I want them to look at it from the different possibilities. What are the drawbacks? What are the difficulties? What solutions are actually factually being demonstrated in the article? There's also a survivalist kind of activity that I've used this in. It's called Cuckoo Island. You've heard of, kick someone off the island. What you basically do is you have a set of people with different social characteristics and skills, and the students have to populate this biosphere to save the planet. So them and these other people. And what they have to do is come to a consensus about what's the value of each of the different people that they could bring to the space. They also look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs to think about, well, what actual needs do we have in this space? What are the physiological needs, survivalist skills and that sort of thing, or who can help us to eat and survive. But then they start to think about, well, what are our higher order needs? And this is really interesting because with the 6 thinking caps, the students began to see, well, there was a 12-year-old girl who was propositioned as one of the people they could take. And most students immediately saw her as an obstacle. She has no value. But once they started to think about their higher order needs, and we're using the 6 thinking caps to think differently about this 12-year-old girl, most groups decided to take her along. Most groups could understand that they actually could bring some genuine self-actualization through being exposed to youth. Most saw that they could have the greater chance of transferring all the different skills that the different people represented long-term because they used the 6 thinking caps to look at the value and didn't just immediately go with. And for example, I had the red cap ask everyone, how do you feel about taking a 12-year-old orphan on your island? And they each spoke about it and why they spoke about it. And so the 6 thinking caps is really an emotional, intelligent decision-making tool, and using it in the classroom has been a pleasure. Enjoy.